In this movie, I want to go over smart guides and explain to you why it's important when it comes to the context of creating logo design. Smart guides can be found in Illustrator. If you go to Preferences, you can go to the Smart Guides tab, and if we open that up, you can see it gives you the opportunity to set the color. So when it's activated on screen, it can be a specific color. I like having it set to light gray. You can have it activate alignment guides. This is if you're doing like 90 degrees or 45 degrees and you're trying to keep the continuity of everything matched up, you can use that. I usually have that set off unless I need that specifically. One of the nicer features they've added recently is spacing guides, but smart guides enable quicker building and precise building, and I'm going to show you why that is right now. So this is my thumbnail sketch for a graphic motif for a logo design. Now, as I'm starting to build it, I've created this shape. Now, the reason why I use smart guides is if I hover over this path, I have smart guides turned off right now, and when I do that, there is no tactile feedback in terms of the cursor going over the path. It doesn't feel like there's anything there. Even though this little icon changes, I'm not guaranteed that I'm right on the path, and it's not going to snap to that specifically. And if I go over an anchor point, you can see it's saying, yes, there's an anchor point here, but once again, it's not a guarantee that it's going to snap. If I turn on Smart Guides, Command U, we do that now. When I hover over a path, it says, hey, you're on the path. Not only are you on the path, but we're locked onto the path. It gives you tactile feedback where you know you're exactly where you need to be. And the same thing when you have an anchor point. You're going to see a couple other benefits of using Smart Guides as we go ahead and produce the artwork for this design. And so what I want to do first is I'm going to start here by snapping to this anchor point, and I'm just going to draw out a rectangle shape shown here using the rectangle tool. And now with Smart Guides enabled, I only want my wings to go out as far as I have this guide here. So we'll use the direct selection tool to select just these anchors. And then I'll go, and you can see it says intersect. It says you're right exactly where the guide is. So that's what we want. So that's a nice thing to do there. Now, one other aspect that I like to do when I'm building, specifically if I need a certain angle, here's a quick little tip that I use a lot, is I'll select a path, a segment. So this is a whole path right here that makes up this bird shape. But I just want this path right here. So what I'm going to do using the direct select tool, I'll just click on this segment of the path, and then I'm going to go Command C, Command F, Command C, Command F, and you see what it does is it just clones that one path. And with this selected, I can select this path, bring it over here, snap it to this one, and now I have the angle of what I want the wings to be on this side, and it matches the angle shown over here. So I'll use that method as I'm creating, and on this case, I'm going to modify this shape by dragging it over. And once again, Smart Guides tells me right when I'm on that correct path, that correct angle, and then I can stop. So that's how I use those two methods. Once again, I'm going to switch the graphic style just so I can see it. And now with that, I can just clone this shape, Command C, Command F. And with this shape cloned, I can just select this anchor point, slide it down, and snap it right to the bottom of this one, and I know it's right where it goes. Now over here, if I select this path, you can see this is a little off. So I'll drag this anchor point over, slide it until it snaps to that path, and it actually tells me I'm over the anchor path, but it also gives me that tactile feedback where you know it's snapping, you know it's right where it should be. And this is where I'll take this shape again and I'll just copy it. Command Z, Command V to paste. I'll select the two top shapes here, and I'm going to group them really quickly just so they're one shape. Select this wing, and then I'm going to go to align, and I'm going to focus on these two shapes, and I'm going to align it going horizontally here. And this ensures that it's right in the middle, right where it needs to be. Then with Smart Guides, I can drag it over, snap it here. Now I can get rid of this path that I was just using as a guide for my vector building. So this is how quickly it can go. And once you get to this point, I can just select all my shapes, go to Pathfinder, click on Unite, and you can see how it just fuses everything together. Now, I like to clean up my art as I'm going along, so I'll select these 2 anchor points that I don't need, and I'll just remove them using this tool up here in the menu bar. We'll just click it, and it removes those anchor points. And so it's good to get in the habit of doing that, because the more optimized you can make your art, the better. Now, there's one tool that I'm going to show you right now that in another movie, we'll go into it more in depth, and I'll show you both how to do it natively in Illustrator, but also how to use a plugin to do it as well, because I think the plugin, once again, works a lot better, and that's a rounding tool. And by default, I have my rounding turned off in Illustrator because it gets in the way of vector building at certain zoom ratios. You go to click an anchor point, you'll accidentally hit the corner widget instead. So I like to use a dynamic rounding. So if I turn this on, you can see the dynamic rounding is here, and we have the round fillet selected, and I have the tool selected over here in the menu bar. And the reason why I like using this is because I can just click on any anchor point and just immediately start adjusting it. So I don't want this one to be too big, so that looks, you know what, maybe a little bigger. Something like that looks okay. Once I set one, I want all the wings to be the same, and this is the nice feature of it. I can just click the corners on those. I don't have to pull them out. It just knows that's the last one I use, and I can apply it that quickly. So that's why I use it. It's a really nice feature. It works really well. Once I have this composed like this, I can now go back and color the black and white artwork, so you can see that here. And if we zoom out, I can show you what the final design looked like. So that's how I'll use smart guides to assist in my building of a logo design. You're going to use this a lot if you're doing shape building techniques. When it comes to other features like organic freeform shapes, it's also going to assist you in that respect as well, but you'll have to toggle them on and off. Once again, it's Command U, and you'll want to toggle them on and off as you build, because sometimes it'll force the anchor point to snap to something. You don't always want that. So if you know what that keyboard command is, you can easily just toggle it off when you don't need it, and then when you need it, toggle it back on. So I use smart guides every day on almost every project to help me produce my art precisely and more efficiently. Once you get in the habit of using smart guides, you'll fully understand how valuable they are and how best they work for your process. But that said, you'll find the need to toggle them on and off, as I stated, because they can get in the way. But if you get in the habit of using them, you're going to see a drastic improvement in the precision of your art and the ease at which it'll help you to build your art.